Hello, this is Mike Wade, Chief Option Strategist for Tom Gentile, and welcome to this video featuring Tom's tools and yours truly. Stock and options trading has large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of these risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the stock and options market. Don't trade money you cannot afford to lose. I'm not offering any buy or sell recommendations on anything. Nothing that I'm about to share with you should be construed as advice. I am not an advisor. I am a trader just like you. All prices are in US dollars unless noted otherwise, and feel free, of course, to read the balance of the disclaimer at your leisure. I'm going to share with you today one of my favorite directional systems. It has to do with support and resistance. Here's an example of a chart with these dotted lines, these support and resistance lines, and notice how stocks tend to bounce off them over and over again. You can see here that this is a chart of Amazon. You can see Amazon starts here at this level, goes up to this level, bounces, hits this level, drops back down to this level, and then down again to this level, back up again. Now look at this, back up to this resistance level here, back down to this resistance level. It breaks this resistance level, drops down to the next one, and then the next one comes up. And you can see that these lines, not always, now this is important, these lines tend to act as stopping points and starting points for directional moves. I'm going to go into some detail here. I want to talk to you about how we can get these dotted lines drawn automatically on your chart. Let's talk about the power of support and resistance using stock chart peaks within Tom's tools. In this video, I'm going to go into some more detail on support and resistance, a trading system that I really like. I'm going to show you how to turn on those automatic support and resistance lines using stock chart peaks. And then I'm going to supercharge the system using volume. Volume equals conviction. I'm going to show you how you can really increase the probability of getting direction right using this very simple system if you couple volume. So let me tell you the system here. This is that same chart on Amazon. This is what you want to do. You want to use these lines as entry and exit points. For example, let's take a look right here. You can see that Amazon closed beneath this upper, was a support line, now it's resistance, but the stock closed below the support line, now resistance, and that would be our entry signal. We would expect the stock to drop down to the prior support level, which in fact it does in this case. So you enter with a close beneath support and you exit at the next support level. It happens again right there. We enter on a close beneath support and we get out at the very next support level. All right, so that's another bearish, successful bearish trade. Here we get in with a bullish break above resistance. Now we're going the other way. So a close above resistance would be an entry signal, and we would expect the stock to go back up to the prior resistance level, which in fact it did. We would have gotten out there with a profitable trade, and we would enter here and exit as it touches the prior resistance level. It goes on and on. We enter here as it breaches above the resistance level, expect it to go up here, get out at that level. We would exit the winning trade, enter a new trade, we get in there, and we get out at the next resistance level. Here's a case where we breach below support right there at that dotted line. We would anticipate the stock dropping to this prior dotted line, which is support now, the next support level, and there's another winning trade. So let me show you an example. I'm going to hop into Tom's tools. First off, you can see that I'm back tested to 9/26/2019. I want to illustrate the power of the system. So let's first just hop in and take a look at a chart of Amazon. I'm going to go to stocks, charts, stock charts. Let's type in Amazon. I want to see Amazon. And again, we're at 926. So here's Amazon. You can see here that this is a chart of Amazon. And one thing you'll notice right off the bat is that support and resistance also tends to lie at round numbers. And you can see that that being the case here, 2000. You can see it as support there. These round numbers also tend to act as support and resistance. Look at 1850. You can see resistance there, support, 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 and then support becomes resistance there, and it goes on and on. So those support and resistance levels are also very important, but also Tom's tools, by clicking stock chart peaks, will also give us a look at support and resistance from actual peaks and valleys within the stock. So I went ahead and I clicked stock chart peaks and then click update, and notice here that we've got these peaks and valleys identified. So this peak here acted as support here, okay? These peaks, these valleys here acted as support there, and resistance here, okay, and resistance here. So these support and resistance lines are really, really powerful. And again, the way we use the system is we can actually use these peaks to detect when it's time to enter and exit, and then we use the next peak, the next support or resistance line as our target. So here's a case. So it's 926. Notice here that Amazon has closed beneath, just slightly closed beneath this support line. All right, so this would indicate an entry, a bearish entry. You buy a put on this one, maybe an out-of-the-money 30-day put or 60-day put. And then our target would be to exit this when the stock touches the next support line, which is this bottom dotted line. Let's take it forward to 10-3, which is the day that the stock actually hit the bottom peak here. We would have had an intraday close there, profited with a move from here to there, towards the low end of the day. With a good till cancel contingent order, we would have actually exited this trade with a touch of that support level, gotten in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, most likely a double, a 5-day double, using the chart peaks function of Tom's stock charting tool. Let's supercharge our support and resistance system using a trader distinction not known by everybody, but it's certainly the case. Volume equals conviction. When the volume increases, particularly on institutionally sponsored stocks like those in the S&P 500, that means it's more likely to keep going. So what we're going to do is we're going to couple volume, and we're going to enter only when the volume is greater than average. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. Notice here, as the stock closes beneath this support line here, the volume was actually higher than average. The average volume is somewhere down here in this zone here. So when you see the volume pop up, so this would constitute an entry. We would only enter if the volume is above average. It happens again here. As we close above this resistance line, the volume was above average. Here's another case where we close above this resistance line and the volume again is above average. It happens again here. We close below this support line, the volume is above average. Here, it isn't. Notice how this ended up being a failed trade. We would not have gotten into this one because the volume is average. All right, so that's a no-go. Coupling volume will actually kick out some of the losers and give you a higher winning percentage. That's the supercharged volume aspect of the system. This is a very straightforward yet profitable system. It typically works in the 60% range or even higher. And what I would do is suggest that you use stocks in the S&P 500. Those stocks that are institutionally sponsored work better with this system. So just find a handful of your favorite stocks. You could use the FANG stocks, the Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. You could use those stocks and then any others that you see fit. So, but make sure that they're institutionally sponsored. I would say confine yourself to the S&P 500. So in summary, to turn on the chart peaks, here's what you do. You go into stocks, charts, stock charts. You turn on stock chart peaks, you click your update button, of course put whatever stock you want in there as well. And then with clear support and resistance identified, it's a simple matter of following the rules I've just given you to enjoy the supercharged support and resistance system using Tom's stock chart peaks. All right, thanks for being with me, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.